Hey, this is James from Mojo Fitness Lab. I'm going to give you 11 benefits of the sauna right now. And I wrote an article, I'm going to read it to you, so I hope you don't mind. Skin health and rejuvenation is number one. So regular sauna use can promote healthier, glowing skin. In traditional Chinese medicine texts, they say that we die from the feet up, meaning that we lose circulation in our feet first as we begin to die. Saunas, they get the blood circulating to our hands and feet and head and to the surface of our skin. And the heat and the sweating help to unclog pores, flush out toxins, and improve blood circulation. That results in improved skin tone and texture. So ladies, it helps to make you more beautiful. No more brain fog. The sauna therapy has a positive impact upon your cognitive ability and your clarity, your mental clarity. The research suggests that the increased blood flow to the brain because of the heart pumping harder and the release of endorphins during sauna sessions can improve your focus, your attention, and your overall cognitive performance. So HSP70 is a protein that repairs brain matter that's damaged, and it destroys matter that's beyond aid. So the HSP70 heat shock protein 70 are released only during heat shock, and they basically clean up our brains and they take out all the garbage. So all this happens on a microscopic level without even us having to think about it, which is great. And they don't activate if we're sitting around eating Oreos on the couch, but they will activate with heat. A bath is a good substitute if you don't have a sauna. Don't wait around. Sauna therapy can help you lose weight. Not kidding. Research suggests that saunas increase metabolism and improve insulin sensitivity. So what is an insulin insensitivity? Let's talk about that. So starvation in the land of plenty, which is type 2 diabetes, is the way that I understand it. There's an overload of sugar in your system for the cells to eat, but they can't get to it and they can't use it to live and to thrive. And even though there is insulin in the system, they don't respond to it. And insulin unlocks the cells so that the sugar and the nutrients can get into them. But in this case, the cell's insensitive to that. So all the sugar and all these nutrients are just circulating right past them. Your body stores that excess sugar as fat. And what causes it? There's a lack of activity and exercise. And if you eat excessively, it'll just, it'll make it worse, especially carbohydrates. If you haven't eaten in 4 to 5 hours, the sugar in your blood is used up. And the liver, which acts as a sugar faucet to the bloodstream, begins to put sugar into it so that you can function normally, which I think is incredible. I mean, our human body is really intelligent, right? Insulin is released when you eat. An insulin-insensitive liver will not receive the message to turn off the sugar faucet. And your bloodstream will begin to overload with sugar if you're eating too much, especially sugars and carbs. Again, stored as fat. The sugar, as an analogy, acts as sandpaper and starts destroying your system. So now here's where the sauna comes in. Super sauna increases insulin sensitivity. Your blood vessels expand as your heart rate increases, which delivers the nutrients to your cells. Your cells begin to eat, and the nutrients get the nutrients that they need to live and to thrive. So sugar in your system is decreased, and it's not stored as fat with the sauna use. Little side note, putting your body into heat shock also boosts nitric oxide production, leading to better erections, fellas. Get in there. Don't forget Alzheimer's. Saunas can get your cells and proteins to do interesting things other than just give up. So let me tell you that the HSP70, those heat shock proteins that I was telling you about, they get made by the DNA in our cells on demand when the heat hits, right? they get sent to the brain. They play a vital role in the proper maintenance and the repair of the gray matter. Actually, there's proteins in the brain, if they're damaged and unfolded and they begin to tangle and build up inside the brain, they form Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and dementia. So here's the incredible thing. These heat shock proteins go to the pieces that are damaged and unfolded, and they repair and refold them so that they can perform optimally. Either that or they smash the worn out proteins that are FUBAR. Human body is pretty amazing, right? So hypertension, next one. There's nothing better for the health of the cardiovascular system than exercise. So when you get into the sauna, even though you're not moving, it mimics exercise. It mimics cardio. It gets your heart to pump a little harder. Your core body temperature goes up a few degrees. Your arteries expand to accommodate the blood flow. All those are the mimicking cardiovascular cardio. Leads to lower blood pressure, and when you get out, the effects could be accumulative. In other words, if you use the sauna more, I think that it accumulates over time to lower your blood pressure. So I heard that Laird Hamilton, a famous Hawaiian big wave surfer, gets to the sauna with heat mitts, with oven mitts on, and then he rides a spin bike at full speed. And that's pretty hardcore. I mean, there are stratospheres of insane, and Laird is the pope of hardcore here. Leads to a better quality of life. So, the studies have indicated that this thing called all-cause mortality, which means death from all causes, it covers, a population, with a bunch of diseases. Basically, it was saying that people die a lot less from from disease-related death. And in this case, if you use the sauna 4 to 7 times a week, it reduces that all-cause mortality by 40%. That's pretty incredible. It's basically saying that you are more likely to be able to die peacefully instead of draining the family resources because you're hooked up to some newfangled thing to keep you living through diseased misery. Not bashing Western medicine. I'm not bashing Western medicine. I was raised by a nurse. She became a doctor. She became a PhD. And I have a ton of respect for the practice of Western medicine. So, next one, infinite mental health days. The release of endorphins during a sauna session can significantly improve mood and overall well-being. The work suggests that relaxation and stress reduction induced by saunas can help alleviate symptoms of depression. So people who had just one sauna session has seen a 2-week effect on their positive outlook on life due to the endorphins that release into the blood. And there may be a compounding effect. In other words, if you go in more than once every 2 weeks, it'll improve your happiness and relieve some depression. I think that's incredible. You don't have to have a stroke. You don't have to stroke out. So I looked at the cause of stroke, and it's when blood stops flowing to the cells and part of your brain because there's a blockage in the arteries and capillaries. And so during regular sauna use, those pathways are expanding due to mimicked cardiovascular exercise, greater blood flow, and my guess is that those blockages may not have a chance to build up with that much heat and expansion. And I always thought if you inhaled hot air into your lungs, got into your blood, it would heat up your circulatory system and it would melt the plaque right off of your arteries. But maybe that's not exactly correct, but here's some crazy numbers for you. In terms of strokes, people who had a sauna bath 4 to 7 times a week had 60% less chance of having a stroke. 60% chance less of having a stroke over their lifetime. That's amazing. I say that because I have a friend whose dad had a stroke, and it was personally devastating to me because he was a burly Superman, and he was reduced to a pile of flesh that couldn't form sentences. I mean, anyway, high blood pressure is a major factor in strokes. Of course, you've heard me talk numerous times about it. Lowering the blood pressure, because it gets the heart again up to 120 BPM. Yeah, that's good. Good techno beat. And that lowers blood pressure. Anyway, no one really knows the mechanisms involved physiologically with lowering the chance of your life suddenly turning upside down and not being able to speak or move your limbs. But according to studies, because I looked through studies and I really tried to find what was really happening, but there wasn't anything specific that I found. But if Thomas Delauer or Rhonda Patrick, if you're watching this and you know the answer, please put that down in the comments. I would love to contact you and talk to you about this. Anyway, could have something to do with the stimulation of the immune system and also the heart pumping more, nervous system going into fight or flight, and activating mysterious forces currently beyond our understanding, in my understanding. So the last one that I have is longevity and anti-aging effects. So you've got improved cardiovascular health, reduced inflammation. We didn't even touch on that one. The slight... in the beginning, we talked about detoxification, stress reduction. All these contribute to overall longevity and anti-aging effects. You know, the rejuvenation of the skin, the cleaning out of pores, and the anti-aging effects. All causes of death from disease are reduced by 24% if you go into the sauna 2 to 3 times a week, and 40% if you use the sauna 4 to 7 times a week for 15 minutes. Above 160, by the way. In other words, if you're going into the sauna 4 to 7 times a week, your chance of dying from some crusty, hairy disease is cut almost in half. And if you don't have access to a sauna, hot bath can be an alternative for you. This is James from Mojo Fitness Lab. Take good care of yourself.